probably put wallpaper or paint in the kitchen. Well, not this couple. What they've done is they've used plaster and drywall goop, and they've smeared it all over the wall with a trowel.
And then what we did was we used the Ultra Suite on the headboard, and this can be changed if mounted with Velcro.
On this sofa, I did a bench cushion, all one piece, but I also made it twice as thick as before. This has the 4-inch foam mat in the batting.
I think there's nothing more boring than a white ceiling.
I'm using brown craft paper because it's nice and thick and it covers pretty much everything that's underneath the wall. But you could use old phone books or love letters. When you're rolling the fresh dirt on it, it's important not to have it slide. You actually want the roller to go quite smooth and consistent.
What I did is I used 12-inch squares and I alternated them, shiny, flat, shiny, flat. For the border, we cut out sponges and in hockey sticks and pucks.
So what I want to do here is just drag it onto the wall in a vertical motion like this. This will give the appearance of water.
Well, when I looked at these pictures, this is one of those rooms that's so out, it's back in.
Love the doormat. That's my sentiments.
Ray Staples, baby. Fantastic memories, although my eyes, I can't unsee that. What was going on in the 80s and 90s? Listen, Colin and Justin, let me introduce my beautiful team. You know them all. Brian Gluckstein, Sharon Gregg, Candice Olsen, Colin and Justin. You two were just teeny tiny little babies in the 80s.
We weren't even born then, Tracy.
We weren't even born yet. I want to get your take of a little bit of what we saw in that video.
Do you know, we remember it so well, you know, but it's so fantastic, isn't it, to look back at a kind of time capsule like that and see how taste has changed.
Yeah.
But I'm sure at the time, you know, it was at the forefront of design. It was doing what Cityline does now, really leading the way, you know, and was an inspiration to Canadians. It's fabulous to see that. And Brian just looks the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, seriously. You haven't aged a day.
No, but my hair used to be your length.
Yeah.
And I stuffed a pillow with it. You don't know.
Speaking of you, Brian, you are a busy man. Your brand is everywhere. You're in Florida. You've got projects in New York, projects in Toronto, but you still find the time to be on Cityline a couple of times a month, and we love you for it. I want to know, have you ever had a problem with your scheduling, trying to fit it all in?
Well, I was in a meeting in my boardroom one day, and my assistant comes to the door with this ashen look on her face, and I said, excuse me, I have to go out. And she said, you have to be on TV in 15 minutes. And we had forgot to schedule it in the schedule. And I said, I'm just going to go to the washroom. I'll be right back. And I got in my car, and I must have gone through every red light in the city. And I got here just as the credits were rolling. And then they must have thought there was something wrong with me. And then I went right back to the office.
That's amazing. You made it.
For an hour.
I made it for the show, and I mmade it back.
This is a man who respects his commitments.
Oh, yeah, that was a crazy
23
one.
years on Cityline.
23 years.
Unbelievable. 23 years. So you started when you were 2. So you started doing segments when you were 2 years old. Yeah, yeah, for sure. All right, Candice. I forgive you for the craft wall that I saw in that tape.
I have sinned. I have ragged.
Yeah, I forgive you.
Oh, yeah. I've done it all.
I saw aluminum foil backsplash. I saw a floral ceiling. I saw a hockey stick and a puck used as a border. Okay, so you were the DIY diva. You were that woman that was doing all of these projects back then. Was there ever a time that your DIY, you know, was maybe a little bit hazardous for your health?
Well, there were a lot of fumes. You know, now
Yes,
paints are it's a lot safer. And I remember my my husband, now husband, and I were dating, and I remember I had just gutted my house, and he's a builder. He understands when you ring the doorbell for a first or second date, and you walk in, and the house is gutted, and there's literally just a toilet and a sink. So he stuck around. But I think our first night wasn't so much about romance, but I think he was just a little bit high on wood filler fumes. He stayed the night, not because of me, because he got home.
So you kind of drugged your husband.
Yes. Ladies?
And you're still together.
Well, a good contractor is hard to find. Good guys. I don't recommend it for everybody.
Get them how you can, ladies. 8 years with Cityline, amazing. And now we're seeing your product all over the place. You're, you know, this huge brand in the United States. We're so proud of you. It all started here, so it's incredible to have you back.
It did, and I have to say it's given me great opportunities that I would never have. And thank you so much to Christy and everybody here. It's just been it's been such a ride.
It has been an amazing ride. Yeah, incredible. 17 years with Cityline, Sharon. I really only have one thing to ask you. You still have those little overalls that you had?
I was looking at those.
The little,
aren't they in style again? Like if you wait long enough.
No, they're not.
Damn.
They are never coming back.
I'm going to talk to Sandra. You're very practical.
Cute.
That was my practical phase.
You've taught us so many lessons in paint and otherwise in color. I mean, do you ever think to yourself, my God, I don't know how I'm going to come up with another lesson?
I do, and then I look back on Candice's shows and foil, and you know what? I think it's a lot of fun. You do, after you've been on for a long time, and you see how a new young generation of new homeowners, they love it. Like, they want to get into it. They want to be creative. So I think we're always bringing it back. And now I've got kids. They want to do it, too. I showed them a sea sponge recently.
Oh, you didn't.
And they were scared.
Just wait. And they were frightened. Listen, a big shout out to all of our home day guests. Thursdays on Cityline.